Mars City Council regular meeting to order Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, 12 p.m. Would you please join me in the flag? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the agenda. Actually, no, wait, go ahead. I'm out of order. Go ahead, Dick. Somebody's in a hurry.
We have roll call. Christie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Fitzgerald?
Here.
Yes.
Use your microphone, I like it. Motion to approve the
Motion made.
agenda. Why, we just might as well restart.
Should we start over? Motion been made and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First thing on the agenda today is our general discussion. And the way we handle general discussion here in the chamber is that we ask if anybody has any complaints or concerns or good comments about the city. We ask them to step up to the plate or up to the microphone and state their name and address. And by the way, I want to welcome everybody into the chamber today, and particularly you people that are watching or listening over television. Open for discussion. Anything? Hearing or seeing none. Today we'll move on to the Thumbs Up Award. Mike?
I'll be the first and probably not the last at this meeting to bring up the thumbs up to the community of Mars and its additional volunteer work that it did after all the work involved in RAGBRAI, but then all the work in support of service clubs and other fundraising activities, the scouts and everyone at the Plymouth County Fair. 5 best days, yada, yada, yada. So thumbs up to everyone who worked very hard, and they probably share my relief that we've got some time off now.
Thank you, Mike. Clark?
I'm gonna pass.
Rex?
Yeah, just, and with Mike, I think I'm very lucky, blessed, whatever word you want to say, to live in the Mars and be around all these people that are the kindest, best people in the world. So I'm just lucky, and I'm thankful for volunteers, I'm thankful for friends, I'm thankful for family.
Thank you, Rex. Steve?
Yeah, I've got a couple today. First one is for our junior golf program that we just wrapped up at the golf course. 8-9 weeks of young kids having the opportunity to learn the game and grow. Dan Gray and his volunteer group out there every Thursday was phenomenal, just seeing the kids out there and learning the game and doing well. And my second one is for Chief Shipper and his swearing in that he had at 11 o'clock this morning, and how he has been able to lead and put the fire and ambulance crews together in the month of July, and how well it has gone. So thumbs up to them.
Thank you. I'd like to also emphasize the people that has been coming into this town within the last month, and I don't know if the figures are right or not. Everybody's got a guess on them, but if the fair figures are right or close, there's 100,000, and I'm guessing between ice cream days and RAGBRAI, we've had somewhere between 100 to 130,000 people that's hit the Mars within the last 30 days. So I would say that's speaking quite well, and I agree with Mike on all the great things that the volunteers and everybody did. I put out a publication on that the other day, a news release. And I also did have the opportunity to be involved in of what Steve just mentioned here in the golf with the kids. You know, we talk about quality life in this town, and we've talked about it for a good number of years, and the importance of it. And boy, to be involved in that and be a part of it, there's a prime example of what our quality of life is doing. And the thing that really caught my eye on it is it was for the kids, but I'll tell you what, the parents have stepped up and is involved in this also, and which is a family and fun program under our Quality Life program, and it was certainly a full example of it. Okay, moving on to the consent items. All items listed under the consent agenda will be enacted with one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on those items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today, we've got three of them. Approval of the July 20th, 21 regular and July 26th, 2021 special meeting minutes. Number 2 is a list of the bills for the period ending 7/31/21. And number 3 is the well, number 14, raw water main and sanitary sewer extension project change order. At this time, does the council ask for any one of the three to be separate, or can we vote?
Motion to approve consent items 1 through 3.
Yes.
Motion made and second to motion made and second to approve the items 1 through 3. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Bear with me here just a minute. The next one is coming under the action items. And the first one on the action item is the financing of the hospital loan agreement. 3 months. Floyd Valley Healthcare, city staff, and Dorsey Whitney, LLP, have been discussing refunding of hospital revenue bonds, Series 2013A and Series 2013B, and financing for hospital improvements. Loan agreements and borrowed money are not exceeded $14 million. Hospital improvements, which will include a new addition, a remodeling of the current space, medical building improvements, a parking expansion, and site improvements. Mr. Darrell Friedenbach is here today representing the Floyd Valley Hospital, and the administration recommends that the council approve the proceed to the public learning. And the financial aspect of it is all financing, loan agreements, and borrowing will be payable from the hospital revenues. So if you have any questions about Darrell, he's here today to try and answer them.
Darrell, to date, the hospital has always made good on their payments to the city.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've got no issues at all, making sure all those payments are made. You have these notes to be payable exclusively from the hospital revenues. We've done, a number of analysis working with the banks, and are very confident that we'll be able to continue doing that in the future. And in fact, we're working with the local banks here to most of the financing, other than the USDA financing, has been approved for the project, and the construction financing and some of the refinancing will be done through a group of 5 local banks here in the community that have stepped up. So very pleased to be working with them as well. So,
I just want the reassurance that you think that the revenue will cover
Yep,
what
absolutely.
we're being asked. And then the second part to that is, some of this, is this old hospital renovation? The senior center renovation, or is that not this?
The senior center is is a separate project. We are coincidentally tearing down the senior center to make some room for parking as we do the addition to the north. There's a little bit of remodeling, some of the old physical therapy space and some of our lower level area, kind of where the home health used to be, right at center conference rooms. There'll be a little bit of remodeling there, and then the rest will all be new construction.
I hear nothing but good about our hospital, so.
Well, thank you.
I think it's important, especially the year and a half we've just gone through, to emphasize, a good quality hospital, so.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate those
No problem.
comments.
That's all.
Financing rates look good, Darrell?
Yeah, they're looking very good. The USDA is they've got some pretty hard rates to beat. They're at 2.25% for 35 years. It's a fixed rate. So you just can't beat that. And then the local bank consortium stepped up and are offering some good rates as well. The construction loan is a little over 3%, and then the refinancing, they're doing it like 2.4% over a 20-year amortization. So feel really good about some of the rates we've gotten as well.
Well done.
Any questions more for Darrell? Darrell, thanks so much for
Yeah,
being
thank
here
you.
and answering the questions.
Appreciate it.
Motion to adopt resolution 2136 establishing September 7th of 2021 at noon for a public hearing on one or more hospital loan agreements and financing at a principal amount not to exceed $14 million.
a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to adopt resolution number 21-36, establishing September 7th, 2021 at 12 p.m. for a public hearing on one or more hospital loan agreements and financing in the principal amount not to exceed $14 million. Christie, could we have a roll call on that, please?
Wick,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Knapp.
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to number 2 is the PlyWood Trail 1A and 1B engineering agreement. Attached is an agreement for the engineering services with McClure Engineering for Stage 1A construction administration and Stage 1B final design additional costs. Stage 1 is in and north of Merrill, and that construction contract has already been awarded. Stage 1B is from the north end of Merrill to Lamar's. The agreement will get us through completion of Stage 1A and through bidding Stage 1B. The administration recommends the council approval for the agreement. The PlyWood Trail Executive Committee has approved the costs, and the financial end of the city will pay McClure invoices, and the PlyWood Trail Executive Committee will reimburse the city. And I see Leslie is here, I believe, is she? Have any questions? Excuse me. Have any questions for Leslie? Please feel free to ask.
So just to let you know, the executive committee did review this thoroughly, the engineering costs, and did chat with the city of Sioux City in regards to some of these costs too, to make sure that they were in line. We wanted to make sure that they were appropriate for the work that we are asking them to do. And they did agree that they are in line, and even maybe a little less than what they've had to pay, which is good to hear. But we want to get this trail done, and we want to get started, and so we want to move forward with McClure, and we do have financing in place to cover that.
Any other questions?
What number goes on?
It must be
231,
231A.
Yes, $231,800
It's further down.
for engineering. Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agreement for engineering services for PlyWood Trail Stages 1A and 1B with McClure Engineering at a cost of $231,800.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the agreement for the engineering services of the PlyWood Trail Stages 1A and 1B with McClure Engineering cost at a cost of $231,800. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Leslie. for
Thank you,
being
appreciate your support, and we will get this trail done between Lamar's and Merrill. We're excited.
here. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to number 3, under the action items, has to do with the mayor's salary. The council held a public hearing and approved the first reading of a proposed change to Chapter 15, which is the mayor, at the July 20th, 21st meeting. The change was set the mayor's salary at $12,000. The administration recommends the approval. Questions?
Motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 966 to amend its chapter 15 mirror.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Motion made and second to approve the second reading of the ordinance number 966 to amend chapter number 15, mayor. Christie, could we have a roll call on that, please?
Wick,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yep.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried. The,
When do papers go out? September?
What's that?
Papers go out for mayor in September?
Starts in August, ends in September.
Do we need to do the second and approve this before the papers go out?
No.
Well, I just wanted to know.
they can,
I was asking the question.
I believe they can, am I right, Mike? They can pick the papers up anytime now, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
your question about waiving the third reading, if that's
Yep.
necessary.
Oh, yeah.
It is not necessary.
Just to make everybody aware.
No,
That's
it's
all I
not
wanna do.
necessary.
So we'll waive the third reading.
Okay, we'll wait.
Okay, moving on to action item number 4, and that has to do with 18th Street Southwest Sanitary Sewer Extension Project. Plans have been prepared by Beck Engineering Incorporated for an 18th Street Southwest Sanitary Sewer Extension Project. The sewer extension has the potential to pick up 1 property on 18th Street Southwest and 2 properties on Lincoln Avenue. The city administrator, namely Jason Becerra, has had conversations with 2 of the property owners as to sharing costs. Verbal agreements have been made and written assessment agreements will be finalized after the project bids are received. An easement from Wells Enterprises is currently being finalized to allow for the extension to the south. The recommendation of the administration recommends approval by the council for the following schedule. Having a public hearing on August 17th, 2021. Having a bid letting on September 2nd, 2021. And award to contract September 7th, 2021. The financial side of this is the construction is estimated at $74,145. And through the assessment agreements, 30% of the cost will be paid by property owners. Entertain any questions?
I'll add some stuff.
Okay, excuse me, Jason, go ahead.
This was actually a project that was talked about maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, a different route. The plan was to come up from the south to get access to these properties along there. Back when the house was still there even. But a new request, I mean, so that kind of went away because there was no immediate need for it by anybody who owned property there. Until recently, some property has changed hands and the request came in, and looking at this route is actually cheaper to do it coming in from the north to do it. And it actually has potential of picking up additional properties going this way. So, like I say here, quite a few conversations with, so if everybody understands where this is at, back in behind what is now Sapp Brothers. Those Quonsets there to the left are owned by, well, there's 1, 2, 3 different property owners along there. The one that made the request most recently is the far south piece of property, because they're going to be doing some building there, putting up some larger storage buildings that will have sanitary and water to them, so they'll have restrooms in them. So that's where it's needed. It'll eventually assist with the property directly to the north of that one. Sapp Brothers currently is on a septic. This allows them to hook to city sewer. And it also sets it up, it's not part of this project, but it sets it up to take the sewer north to pick up, there's that, boy, now I gotta try to think, Troy Scheidler owns that property on the corner there. He's shown interest in eventually hooking up because he has a septic also, but that's not part of this project. That's about it.
Any questions?
Once city sewer is available to property owners, by ordinance, aren't they required to be on it?
Yeah, so so the property where the buildings will be built, they'll hook up immediately.
Okay.
Sapp Brothers talking conversations there.
Uh,
I think it's sooner than later before they hook up.
okay.
There's no immediate need right now because there's, where those Quonsets are, there is no septic to them. And so there's no, we wouldn't force them unless they had a need for it.
Okay. That's about right.
And I don't think the rest of this property is Wells' property. I don't ever see them developing anything right there.
So when you say the financial impact, 30% is paid through the property owners, whether they hook up or they don't, they're just gonna get assessed their portion of the 30%?
Well, who's paying is the property on the far south
Okay,
and Saturday.
okay, that's what I was wondering, all right. Yeah, absolutely, we're good.
Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to establish August 17th, 21 at 12 p.m. for a public hearing on plans, specifications, formal contract, and estimate of the cost of the 18th Street Southwest Sanitary Sewer Expansion Project, and establish September 2nd at 10 to receive and open bids, with said bids being considered at the September 7th, 21 meeting.
Got a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to establish August 17th, 2021 at 12 p.m. for a public hearing on plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate cost of the 18th Street Southwest Sanitary Sewer Extension Project, and to establish September 2nd, or 2021 at 10 a.m. to receive and open bids, with said bids to be considered at the September 7th, 2021 meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving on to number 5, I'm sorry, of the action items, has to do with the Ward 3 council seat vacancy. Effective July 16, 2021, Ward 3 council member Ken Nelson resigned his council seat, and by Iowa Code 372:13, council has 60 days to fill the vacancy. The council intends to appoint a new Ward 3 council member at the August 17th meeting